This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
And I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
I'm joyful.
Oh, because of the holiday, getting into the holiday spirit?
Full of joy, my friend.
Yeah, how come?
Just goodwill towards my fellow man and woman.
Wow. What
and non-binary friends.
What put you into this mood?
The holidays.
Like I said and you ignored?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
it's a given.
Yeah, well, it's about to be Thanksgiving.
If somebody says something, like clarifying, like you said, like, oh, because the holidays, I'm not going to sit there and say, like, yes, you're right. Like, it's obvious. That's why I'm full of joy.
I'm not going to say, yes, you're right. I'm not going to answer your question.
No, yeah, of course. I thought it was
I don't
rhetorical.
know, of course. Maybe you won the lottery.
I haven't won. I'd be more than joyful if I won the lottery. And guess what? I wouldn't tell you if I won the lottery.
You'd be vengeful if you won the lottery. You'd be over here like, I'm buying this, I'm buying that. You'd just be taking everything from me, damaging things, and going, send me the bill.
No, I wouldn't do that because I wouldn't want to pay for it. Tom, let me tell you something. First of all, damage whatever I want to damage, and I'll say send me the bill, but I'll ignore the bills.
Yeah.
Second, if I ever won the lottery, you wouldn't know. You'd have no idea that I won the lottery.
I'd have some
Nobody
idea.
would.
You'd probably get a new
try to get
haircut
your
or something.
Grubby hands all over.
Oh, I definitely would. Like if somebody I knew, if you won the lottery, I'd strongly argue that some of it should be mine.
I think it would be fair if you demanded half, and I would do the same if you won the lottery. And I don't know why, but it just seems
well,
fair.
Especially now that we've had this talk, I would argue in court that this constitutes some kind of a
verbal agreement.
Yeah,
verbal contract
was the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
A verbal contract.
Well.
All right, let's shake on it.
Okay.
If either of us wins the lottery, the other one can demand half.
Did you play the Powerball when it was like $1 billion?
No, and those things I always think like everybody plays it, and it's like, look, I would be happy to win any lottery. I don't understand why.
People always say that too,
Yeah.
but it's also like, I don't know, like then play the lottery. We should all be playing the lottery more. Is my point.
I guess my thing is just I don't really often play the lottery.
Yeah,
I guess it's fun when it's like literally $1 billion to go ahead and play.
Right.
If you're gonna play, I guess that makes sense. If you're not gonna play often, you might as well play when there's a huge payout.
Yeah.
But that's not really like how odds
But
work.
people are like, the odds are better for you when it's smaller because less people are playing. But not really, because you got to match all the numbers. So
yeah, the odds are the odds.
Yeah.
Like more people when it's a big one might have to split the money.
Yeah.
But I think in some of those cases, like, all right, well, even if you had to split it, 4 ways, that's a lot more money than you would normally get.
That's true. Everybody talks about what a bad investment playing the lottery is.
Yeah, it's a tax for idiots.
Yeah, but also, you might win.
That's true. They never talk about that.
Yeah, that's the thing. You win. Guess what? Who's the idiot now?
They never go to past lottery winners and ask them if they think people who play the lottery are idiots.
Yeah, if I won the lottery, I'd go to these mathematicians, slap them with a stack of $1,000 bills.
You'd go to their house.
A tax for idiots, huh? I'm an idiot.
Sir, please, I do mathematics for astronomy. I have no idea what you're even talking about. Please stop assaulting me.
You know, Four Eyes. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
You and the rest of the mathematicians.
And I won't have these glasses anymore, so I can call them Four Eyes because I will have gotten the LASIK.
Tim, go ahead and get new eyeballs.
Yeah, I'll get a young man. Look, people are like, oh, get Jerry Orbach's eyeballs. No.
People are like that.
Yeah.
Somebody already got his eyeballs, too.
I know, but I'm sure it's stipulated once that person goes, his eyeballs.
How long are eyeballs going to be? For people that don't know,
actor Jerry Orbach.
From Law and Order.
Who was an old man when he died.
Yeah. For a long time, there have been, I don't know if they even have them anymore, but Subway ads about, that
And we're not talking the Jared Fogle type of Subway ads.
He did Subway ads side by side with Jared Fogle. He was like, I don't know about you, buddy.
He wore the big he got in the big pants with Jared.
There were ads promoting the idea of giving away your organs after you die.
Right.
And what did they say? They're like, Jeremy Orbach gave his heart to New York and his eyes to this guy or something like that. And had some, I don't think it had the guy with his eyes.
No, because he'd become a target.
No, because I would have looked at his eyes to try and figure out, like, are those really Jerry Orbach's eyes?
Yeah.
But, who knows? I don't think you can give away organs twice.
I don't know. Why not?
Because they wear out. Or you can have a 150-year-old pair of eyes going around?
I don't know. Why would you... Look, so few people are donating their eyes that they have to take this. How old was Jerry Orbach when he died?
I have
80?
to assume, he was.
There's some miles. There's mileage on those eyes, and they were good enough to put in a young man.
Yeah.
Or I don't know who they put it in.
Oh, before I couldn't see, but now I can kind of see poorly.
Yeah, and this guy got the eyes, and then he had to check the box of like, are you gonna donate your organs? And it's like, well, like, I have to, right?
Yeah. These eyes are just on loan.
Yeah,
technically.
So anyway, if I won the lottery,
you get a young man's eyes.
Yeah, and not a tragically, like, I'd buy them off of a living.
Yeah,
I'd have the money to be like, you boy, name your price for your eyes.
You'd give him your eyes, probably, right?
Yeah, we could swap eyes.
Yeah.
We could do an eye swap. I don't know.
I'm not buying your eyes, young man. I'm simply offering an eye swap for a donation.
So don't expect a lot of money because you get my eyes.
Yeah,
and they're a nice shade of blue.
It's like a trade-in. I'm not going to pay full price for your eyes. I got these old eyes.
And you get my glasses.
Oh, you're going to give your glasses?
Well, the eyes need the glasses. It would be unfair.
But maybe that guy comes back the next day. He's like, hey, you didn't tell me these eyes need glasses. Well, you didn't ask, buddy.
Right.
Sorry, you already signed the contract.
I make him buy back the glasses for exactly what I paid him for the eye swap.
The glasses, they're $5 million. And at that point, he'll probably be like, I'll just like go to CVS and get a pair then. Yeah,
I guess so. I mean, I got these at Tom. You know how long I've had these glasses?
How long have you had those glasses?
Like 5 years or something. Like
how long are you supposed to have glasses? I have no idea.
I don't know. They're dirty. They're broken.
Well, you can clean dirty glasses.
You know what? They're old enough that like I can't really do much for them at this point. You know, when like if you have a car from like 1976, how clean are you gonna get that car?
You could give it like an overhaul. You can get new lenses.
Yeah. Well,
get new hinges on them.
Yeah. The thing is, big optometrist, man.
Yeah.
I can't just.
I didn't know you had a big optometrist, man.
No, you can't get a new pair of glasses if they're like, have you had an eye exam in the last year?
Yeah.
No, just give me the old lenses. Who gives a shit? Like,
they give a shit. They want to make sure you don't need better glasses.
Who cares if I'm not getting the best sight?
Because I think it can make your eyes worse if you're not keeping up with your.
That's an old wives' tale. And okay, what's the alternative? I keep my glasses for 5 years.
No, they don't want that either. That's why they make them.
Get all dirty?
Yeah, they make them to get dirty so that you eventually have to get a new pair.
Yeah.
I bet your glasses probably smell bad. They smell bad?
I wash them pretty frequently.
Yeah, I wash them pretty frequently. You said they're dirty all the time.
What did I tell you, Tom? It's like a 1976 freaking Dodge Firebird or whatever.
Yeah.
You can only get it so clean.
I think were Firebirds Dodge?
No. I don't know what you're talking about.
Tim, you know about... I have a question for you. This is my question of the week for you.
All right.
You see, everybody was very excited. They shot one of these rockets into space.
Who, NASA?
Yeah, NASA did.
Yeah.
The Artemis 1.
You know what? I didn't see that people were excited. It was supposed to happen like a couple months ago or something.
Yeah, it kept getting delayed multiple times.
This is the thing.
Uh-huh.
We're going to have to step things up. It's like... well, we were going to do this thing that cost $1 billion trillion to do, but it was cloudy, so we couldn't do it.
I think their thing is, look, This thing costs a billion.
These freaking mathematicians. All right. Hey, crunch some more numbers so you can get through the clouds. How about that?
Tim, they don't build it for $1 billion and it's cloudy and they throw that rocket out.
Yeah, too busy telling me I'm an idiot paying a tax for a lottery ticket.
I think it's, they're like,
Buy and
look,
sell
we
you
only get one
$1,000.
shot at doing this. It costs a lot of money. It's cloudy out. That could cause a problem. Maybe not, but it could. And there's no harm in waiting. So let's just wait.
There was no one on the rocket. They could have just...
Well, so that was going to be my question to you. So this is apparently in preparation for, this is Artemis 1. It's going to go around the moon, come back.
Mm-hmm.
That works fine. Then Artemis 2 is going to go up. That's going to have people on it, and it's going to go around the moon, but not land on the moon.
Right.
And then
do the old Apollo 13.
Yeah. And then Artemis 3, I think people will land.
Right.
Artemis 1, they could have put one guy in there, right?
Yeah.
Put one. Look, make sure the guy knows, like, hey, we're doing this as an experiment.
They do stuff like they make people do, or they hire people to do more dangerous things than that.
Yeah, just be like, look, man, you got to understand this isn't very safe. We didn't, there's not even any seats in there, maybe.
Yeah, it's okay.
But, like, if you really want to do it, we're not even going to pay you. You're going to have to do this unofficially. If anybody asks, we'll say you're a stowaway.
Yeah.
But, like, let's put a person on just to make sure there's not, like,
and then
when
you come back and everything's cool,
Yeah.
you'll be a hero.
Yeah. They'll be like, so maybe they did do it. Maybe we don't know. Maybe there's somebody on that.
Like, here he is. He's a stowaway. Throw him in jail. He rots in prison for the rest of his life.
I don't think you get put in prison for the rest of your life for stowing away on a rocket.
On a rocket ship?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Why? Why would they put you in jail forever? I'd say it's more on them.
You throw off the weight, Tom.
Had somebody, I don't think it's a rocket ship. It's fine. Here's what you do. You bring a little gasoline yourself. So you offset whatever fuel
That's
it costs.
Okay.
No harm, no foul.
Would you ever, sanctioned or unsanctioned, want to go to space?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Why not?
If you had a chance to be on one of these, like Blue Origin, or like other, what's his face, Richard Branson's garbage.
Yeah. All these billionaires with their private rocket companies, private space companies.
Okay, I'm not even talking about that space tourism, actually. Because, like, that's like, we're going to go up to, like, where a man freaking parachuted off of one time. Like, all right, if somebody parachutes.
We're in space now, but keep an eye out. Somebody might parachute past us.
Would you go on one of these things where it's like you got to be in the tube for, like, a week or more, and then you're flying through space?
Yeah, that would be even better. That scare you?
First of all, number one, there's like not even a non-zero chance statistically. Just going up there, a lot of people have exploded.
Oh! I mean, the ship's exploded.
Yeah, the people by extension.
No, I mean, unfortunately, they've said, I think at least with one of those, like the people did not explode and the people fell to Earth.
Yeah, well.
So I bring a parachute.
Twice in our lifetime, some pretty high profile.
Yeah.
Man, they were going to put Big Bird on the freaking
They were going to put Big Bird on the Challenger.
My God.
Thank God they didn't put a costume on there.
Yeah. Oh, costume. What do you mean by that? Also, okay. But do you remember when, what's his face? William Shatner came back and was like,
oh, yeah.
It was depressing.
Yeah. She's so old.
Yeah, I think he was hoping to see heaven up there because he knows he's so old. He's like, all right, maybe I'll see heaven and I'll know there's an afterlife.
Yeah, but also probably like as soon as he got up there, everybody was like, say the things from Star Trek. Like they're up there for like 3 minutes. And they're like, now say this. Now do the Spock thing.
Yeah.
And now say, may the force be with you. And he's like, that's not even
That's just
Star
where I draw
Trek.
the line, yeah.
Yeah. So who knows? Maybe that's what happened once he got up there.
Yeah. Did you have more to say about that?
No, I think they just should have, open it up. Hey, if somebody wants to go in here,
Well,
we'll look the other
these
way.
eggheads, these four eyes, need to do calculations if there's a guy in there.
Yeah, we'll have the eggheads stay, they'll work overtime to do some new calculations. I don't think so. I think they probably just have to be like, I mean, I don't know if they're running like all the life support systems. I would think that, they're trying to do as close to a real run as possible to iron out any problems.
Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
And can you not
Okay.
tell me I'm an idiot for asking this question? We did this 50 years ago.
Yeah.
Why don't they just use the plans from back then?
Because that was all fake.
Ah.
Yeah. Well, I think it was like, we just did things differently. I think in retrospect, it was like, oh, shit, the way we were doing things before was super dangerous.
Yeah. Okay.
They expected a lot more people to die during those missions, I think, than actually
They
did.
got lucky.
Yeah. So they don't want to press their luck.
Right.
Plus,
Okay.
they can't go and get like the old, I don't know, gauges or whatever that they used to have.
Why not?
I mean, I guess they could just
They can
take
build them.
one of those things out of the
Smithsonian?
yeah,
Yeah.
put it back up in space.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should let you touch that too.
Touch the stuff at the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
I just want to touch Fonzie's jacket.
Tim, this week we're talking about I would say maybe my favorite food chain.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying that as somebody that can't think of like more than two other food chains right now.
No, Tom,
Mm-hmm.
I know for a fact you like McDonald's and Burger King more than Pret.
I mean, yes, they're more delicious, but on the whole, I think I like Pret more. I like, the idea of Pret more than I like the idea of McDonald's and Burger King.
Yeah.
We're talking about Pret A Manger.
Some French stuff.
Do you know what it stands for? I looked it
I
up.
didn't know until doing research. Because French, Tom,
Mm-hmm.
I'll never understand what a Frenchman is saying. Even when I see the words, like, and then they say it,
yeah.
it's like it doesn't match the words. It's
What? What do you mean?
because
Like when a French person's talking English?
no, when a French person
Uh-huh.
like when I see a word written in French,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and then they're like, "This is how you pronounce it." It
Oh,
never
yeah.
resemble. It's always just like it'll be like they'd like correct me like Pret A Manger or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And they'd be like, no, it's right?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
like,
it's a very.
how do you understand what anybody's saying even if you know the language? Look, I'm just not smart enough. It means ready to eat.
Yeah, it means ready to eat. Well, when I was in France not that long ago, I had learned some French to like try and get by, and yeah, there was a lot of stuff where it's like, I know I'm not pronouncing this perfectly, but I'm definitely like very well in the ballpark. Like I could kind of approximate
I've never been in the ballpark. I can't do it. I can't.
I could like approximate in my head, like, okay, if somebody who is French was saying this in English, I could hear how their accent would make this sound, but I would be able to understand it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like I know, it doesn't sound. I know I sound a little bit like, hello, how are you?
Right.
Or whatever. But you get it. But a lot of times they were like, huh?
Like blue cigarette smoke in your face.
Yeah. But I did okay speaking French there, I think. I mean, at least like for the most
I
part.
bet you didn't, but like it's okay. You didn't know the difference between two and three.
I'm just realizing now I don't know the difference, but menage a trois. I should have known.
Yeah,
That trois is 3, not 2. Nobody says.
Menage a trois is just like a regular.
Yeah, that's just regular old screwing.
You really chose your words carefully there, and I'm not sure why.
Yeah, menage a trois. When I asked for trois cafe, should have known.
Do you remember the Seinfeld episode where Jerry was going to participate in the menage a trois?
Oh, vaguely, yeah.
I was in 6th grade. And I watched that with my parents.
Yeah.
And, like, if I was my parents, I'd be like, all right, you're not allowed to watch this show anymore.
You're not allowed to watch NBC anymore.
Yeah, particularly because, like, we like this show, and it's awkward if we're sitting.
Yeah.
And, like, thank God I didn't ask. But I remember going to 6th grade the next day, and it was, like, the talk of the town. And, like, this one, like, we didn't even really know. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't understand what was
You
going
knew
on
it
in
was
that
like
episode.
something to do with sex, though.
Yeah, and we had to, like, go to, like, the, there's, like, scumbag kids.
Uh-huh.
We went to this one scumbag girl, and she, like, explained it all
Yeah.
to us.
Oh, that's nice. I bet she felt, helpful at the
Yeah,
time.
it was very helpful.
Yeah,
She
boys
didn't,
out
have
there.
she didn't have a very healthy home life, but, like, she helped us
But
understand.
she knew a little bit of French.
Exactly.
Pret A Manger is actually not a French company. Did you know that?
The hell it isn't.
It's stolen French valor. Tim, it is. It actually sounds. I was reading up the Wikipedia article. For people that don't know, by the way, this is like they sell sandwiches. I mean, they sell soups and coffee too, but they're predominantly, I would say, their main trade. Actually, their main trade's probably coffee nowadays, but it's supposed to be sandwiches. That's the draw.
Right.
That's the promise of Pret. It started in the UK. It was like one small shop, and then it looked like rich college kids bought it and made
Rich
it into
college kids.
or just out of college. They were college friends.
Okay.
I know it was like, oh, these two college friends bought it
If I
and
was
turned it.
born rich and could do like I wouldn't go to college, or
Or
I'd make my whole life like college
yeah. Well, I think
without the classes.
these are like rich, ambitious people.
Yeah.
Where I was like, wait a minute, two college friends, like they didn't start the chain. They like bought the restaurant and turned it into a chain. And
With like their daddy's money or
well,
something?
I clicked on the one guy's name and it was like, oh, he's the son of Lord blah, blah, blah. And like a cousin of Edward the Eighth. Like all, I was like, oh, okay. Now I see what happened.
Daddy, buy me a sandwich.
Daddy, I want a sandwich shop. I want it to be French. But anyway, it is still predominantly a UK-based chain. Tim, there are 460 Pret A Mangers in the UK.
I believe it. I can't
Well-
spit without hitting
Well,
one.
but listen to this. 311 of them are in London.
Yeah,
London is lousy with Prets. That's how I was introduced to Pret.
same.
And
There's one specific Pret, Tom, that you and I visited quite a bit.
well, we've told these stories, but I'm sure we'll recount them again. But then I was curious about in the U.S., 61 in the U.S., and a very similar story. 45 of those 61 are in New York.
Yeah.
So 74% of all Prets are in New York in the U.S. The other states that have Pret, D.C., Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
I abbreviated it as Penn
Yeah, why would you do that, though?
because I don't want to write out the Slovenia. It's scary to me.
It is terrifying.
So D.C., Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Illinois are the other states with
Like a
Prets.
handful of Prets.
Yeah, I mean those states are split in 16 Prets between them.
Yeah, that's barely anything. Hey, you got a lot of catching up to do.
And I know, which I'll get into how I know this, but that there was one in L.A. at the airport, and it is closed. It closed during the pandemic. I don't think it reopened.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
LAX?
LAX, yeah. I don't think it was like John Wayne Airport or whatever.
Is that Burbank?
Yeah, I think so.
That's a good airport, Tom.
Yeah?
You ever fly in? Or
I've
there?
never flown into anywhere in LA other than LAX.
Well, sorry to hear that, Tom, because then that means you didn't have the optimal experience.
Well, when did you fly into John Wayne Airport?
I don't know. Several times, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was like more of a private airport.
I mean, you don't know how to fly.
I do know how you fly it. Probably been on most airplanes with you.
What's that supposed to mean?
We've flown together a lot of times. I think if you like
Well, I
sat
told you if I
down
won
and
the lottery, you wouldn't know.
sat down and figured out all the times you've been on airplanes, I might have been on most of those airplanes, whether you
Have
know
we
it or
ever
not.
flown to or from LA together? We've
I don't
been
think so.
in LA together.
We've been in LA together. I don't believe we've ever flown to LA or back from LA together.
Well, that's
which
on
would-
my bucket list, Tom. I'd like to take a flight to Los Angeles with my good friend Tom.
Well, maybe we can find a cheap flight. With the, we fly right there, fly right back.
Yeah, this was a fun day. It was
Yeah.
nice.
Maybe if we have enough time, check that Pret is still closed.
Yeah.
Just in case. But I know this because I watched. So, I'm doing like a bunch of research on Pret.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched this video. Tim, we got into like the wrong line of internet business doing this show. Because I watched one of these videos, like 1 million views, Food Insider.
Food Insider.
Yeah, which I think is like Business Insider, but for food.
Right.
They have the show Food Wars.
Okay.
Which is like a good premise that maybe earlier episodes were
guarantee
executed well.
Whoever produced Food Wars
Mhm.
made $18 on that.
Where basically the idea is that they have like 2 employees in different countries buy food and compare
I've
it.
watched this.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Pret.
Yeah. I watched the McDonald's one.
Okay.
They bought the whole goddamn menu.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
their
yeah.
thing. And the McDonald's.
Yeah, I know, Tim. That's their thing.
Well, no, I didn't. I'm telling the audience that
Yeah,
it
no,
wasn't.
I know.
It
Well,
wasn't
I
ju-
didn't know that was their
Yeah.
thing. Admittedly, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I knew that necessarily either. But the problem with this one was they did it. I think it said a year ago, but I don't know the exact date. So it may have been like, I don't know, a year and 11 months ago. It seemed like it was pretty like thick in the pandemic.
Okay. Where like many Prets in New York were closed.
Yeah. And so
Cowards.
and that's how I know the LAX one was done, because it sounds like they had already decided to do this, and then they realized there was only one in LA. It was at LAX and it was closed. So the like host threw to like somebody in New York who could get it. So there was somebody in New York, somebody in London, presumably. Oh, I don't even know if they were in London. They were in the UK. But they both tried to buy the whole menu and they couldn't. There were like so many things that they were out of. So I just felt like it wasn't really like a great comparison.
Yeah, hey. I think now might be a good time to do Food Wars again.
Yeah.
What's it called? Food Wars?
Food Wars,
Yeah.
yeah. But maybe not though, because like Pret's whole thing is that they try and be very not wasteful about food. So they try and be fresh, but then they also try not to be wasteful. So they make everything fresh that day and sell it that day.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't sell, they give it to charity that night.
Mm-hmm.
But as a result of that, I think the goal is, probably like in the morning meetings or whatever, the manager's like, all right, everybody, and remember, the goal is to not give a single sandwich to charity today.
I don't know that that's true, Tom.
No, I think
mean-
it's like, let's not waste food.
Right.
Let's not make more than we need to, more than we're going to sell, which I think is why something like Food Wars, maybe it's always going to be tough, because I'm sure there are certain restaurants where they know, like, nobody ever buys the tuna sandwich. So actually at this one, like,
Bad example, Tom. People love the tuna sandwich.
so at this one, you know what? We never make the tuna sandwich.
Right.
Because we know it's just going to sit on the shelf all day. We're going to have to throw it out or give it away at night.
All right. Well, note to the producers of Food Wars.
Uh-huh.
You gotta maybe figure something out. Get there early in the
Well,
day.
here's my other problem with this Food Wars thing. Is then at the end they like throw back to like, I guess, the normal host, and he said this. I have him quoted here. Pret seems like the kind of place you eat on accident once And it looks. I'm glad I didn't have to do that episode because all that food looked bland as hell.
First of all, bland as hell doesn't necessarily. It's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, not at all. I think that's one of the reasons why I like Pret.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bland, but I think they focus more on like having fresh ingredients than wowing. It's not Taco Bell. It's not where they're like,
Are you wowed at Taco Bell?
well, Taco Bell, every time you go, again, I'm sure if you had a meeting with like, if you were a fly on the wall in the meeting of Taco Bell, like the executives, probably the CEO is up every meeting saying, look, we all know the goal here. Every time somebody walks into a Taco Bell, we want them to be blown away by something on the menu in disbelief that we've engineered this particular thing.
Right. And for you, it works.
It works. If I'm walking by a Taco Bell and there's some, advertisement on the window saying like, you wouldn't believe this. You wouldn't believe what we've done. It's sick.
Tom, when you and I were roommates.
Yeah.
And we first moved to Brooklyn, and we were what, like in our early to mid-20s?
Early to mid-20s.
There was a Taco Bell,
I think.
a quarter of a mile from like walking distance.
Yeah.
I went there like twice.
Yeah.
What the hell was I doing?
It was a combination Taco Bell KFC.
Yeah. Why were we not there?
Yeah,
why
it was
wasn't
like
I
on
eating
the
every
other
meal?
side of a big road.
We had to cross a street.
It was like a big street, and like nowhere else you had to cross a big street.
It took you wait for the light. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm remembering like the few times I did go there, I think it always seemed like when you went there, the employees were like, "Oh shit, somebody's here." Like,
yeah, that's true. yo, to the other guys.
So then the food would just kind of take forever.
Yeah.
And,
still Taco Bell. Like I didn't make one meal for 5 years.
yeah.
I don't know, like, what was I eating with Taco Bell? And like, I also didn't have any money.
Yeah.
What was I doing?
I think they weren't like open late. They had like weird, I feel like they like closed at 8 or something.
Yeah.
Weird hours. It was a weird Taco Bell. I mean, of course, it was a combination KFC Taco Bell. It's going to be weird, but.
Dare you.
Tim, while we were on our hour break in between segments, you mentioned that somebody suggested this, and I forgot to give them a shout out. Hopeful Traders Clothing.
Yeah, on Patreon.
On Patreon, one of our patrons. Sometimes the patrons can be companies.
Yeah, apparently.
And they get a free ad out of it. So
Hopeful traders,
not
Company.
traitors.
No, traders.
Yeah. So thank you for your suggestion of Pret. Have we done Pret before? I didn't even look.
It's okay.
If we haven't, which I don't think we have, it's crazy because I feel like it's one of those topics that we've never covered because it's like, look, in every episode, there's a little about Pret.
Right. Tom, I think you like Pret more than I like Pret.
Yeah, I would argue that that's probably true.
And here's the thing. I'm a sandwich guy.
Uh-huh.
And Pret, especially as of late,
Yeah.
although they seem to have backed off this a little bit, has really leaned into the vegetarian aspect of it, right? Like they opened several veggie Pret locations, which also seems like you don't have to do that.
Yeah,
just have
as
a
long as
robust
you have
selection.
enough, yeah.
I don't need to go somewhere where like
I know.
there's no meat in the
has
building.
Never entered this building.
That's fine. I can pick up a cheese sandwich that's next to a ham and cheese sandwich and understand that there's no ham in the cheese sandwich unless there's ham in it, and then then I'm proven wrong. And then Pret, you've made an ass of me.
Yeah, no, I like Pret. Is this like a threat on your identity, on your sense of identity that you're the sandwich guy? and I like the sandwich chain more than you like it.
No, Tom, what I like to do is make my own sandwich and develop sandwiches like the Timbo, the taste sensation that's sweeping the nation.
Yeah, like a true maniac.
What do you mean?
I don't like guns, but I like to make my own guns in my bunker.
Well, if you replace anything with guns, it's gonna sound like you're a maniac.
I'm trying to explain what you sound like.
You're like
right
I like eating sandwiches from Pret, and I say like, well, I like eating guns from a gun shop. It's like you eat guns.
I don't
you
like
eat guns.
I don't like buying explosives. I like making my own in private, so the government doesn't know about it.
I don't think it's weird to say I like to. Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman is.
Pretty Woman. I was looking on our list of episodes. Something we should have done.
Yeah, before
recording.
Man, but hey, free idea from anybody from Pret Corporate. Presumably, this is getting passed around the office.
Yeah.
New commercial. Oh, pretty woman.
Yeah.
And it's just a woman walking
Pret.
down the street looking for a sandwich she'd like to eat. Do you have one?
So are they pulling a Dunkin' where they're like Dunkin' Donuts was built on donuts and then they're turning to coffee? Pret was built on sandwiches and now they're turning to coffee?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what it seems like. They're really leaning into the coffee lately. I mean, I don't know. I assume it's one of two things. The first one is that like coffee's very cheap to make.
Margins, baby.
Yeah, coffee has huge margins, but I'd also be curious with these companies what the sell through looks like of people that walk in with the intention of just getting a coffee,
right?
And how often they buy something else, and that there's a certain segment of customer that they know they can advertise coffee, and they'll be like, "Oh, I need a coffee," and then they're like, "I'll get a
meatball sub."
Yeah.
Now, can we talk about the experience of going into a Pret?
Mm-hmm.
I do like this. Like, you're rolling the dice. You don't know exactly what they're going to have any given day, right? There's a menu, but, like, you go, and it's a refrigerated. It's a wall. It's an illuminated wall, and you see what they got.
Yeah, and everything there is Pret A Manger. Right? That means ready to eat.
It's not all ready to eat. Sometimes the man has to heat it up for you.
Yeah, but not if you say, I don't want to heat it up.
But, like, what are you going to eat? A meatball sub, not heat it up?
I don't get the hot stuff all that often.
You know what? I ate Pret when I worked a block away from Penn Station.
Okay.
And there was the zombie McDonald's.
Oh, yeah.
The zombie McDonald's was there. It's around the corner from a methadone clinic, so you walk in there, and it's like Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, it's full of people who are
strung out.
Yeah, and just that's a place that they can go, and they're not thrown out of. So as a result, nobody else goes there.
Yeah. So there was that, and I know that's
a sad
insensitive.
place.
And it's a terrible thing.
You were talking about the Pret.
And the Pret. And so I'd go to the Pret a lot. And then there was one of those, these things, these delis in New York that are like in Midtown that are just like, we have soups. And then like, we have like, it's all for businessmen and women to go to, business people, I'm sorry, to go to and like get their stuff. And it like, the food all sucks, but like everybody like resigned to getting their meals
it's
there.
like it's fast, and
I think Pret did a great job of being like, we're gonna do a less depressing version of this.
Yeah,
and you have this illuminated wall, and like what I really like is that the vegetarian stuff has a green V next to it, so like it's easily identifiable. So you don't have to be scouring the ingredients list.
Oh, this says it's like a cheese sandwich, but let me make sure there's not some weird like sardine spread on it or something.
Right, the sardine spread is a lot more common than you'd think, Tom. And then they had the hot stuff, and I would eat the hot stuff once in a while, and I'd never like it.
Yeah.
But I'd still be like, I want a hot lunch.
Yeah.
What else am I gonna do?
How's some handy
And that
business.
McDonald's over there is too scary.
I take it back. There was a hot Pret thing that I loved in. I don't know. I don't think they had it in the UK.
Are you talking about the cashier? The cashier you fell in love with? The beautiful cashier that you fell in love with?
I don't think they had it in the UK, or at least they didn't any time I was there. But they had a buffalo chicken wrap, Tim, at the Pret's
My man
in America.
loves buffalo flavor.
I love buffalo anything.
Yeah.
And buffalo chicken is the form of buffalo you're most often going to find. And they just had like a hot buffalo chicken wrap that was like very simple but delicious. Because that's the other thing. Like, I love buffalo stuff, but like a lot of times fast food buffalo things aren't good.
Right.
Because they just kind of don't get it right. I don't know if it's like, we did market research and actually most people don't like the taste of like buffalo sauce.
Right.
Or like a lot of
Who
people,
doesn't like the taste of buffalo sauce?
some people do, Tim. And I think also there's like a lot of people that, are in this like ranch with buffalo camp because they think blue cheese is gross. But I think the Pret had blue cheese on it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's bold.
Yeah. But I just remember that being a very delicious wrap. So that was like the one hot wrap that I would get sometimes. I think in the UK around the same time, they had some kind of like maybe chicken fajita wrap that I would occasionally get, but it wasn't as good.
Tom, can I tell you something?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how the Food Wars episode shook out.
Yeah.
But I prefer UK Pret to US Pret any day of the GD week.
Well, it's a much more, popular chain in the UK, I think.
But their sandwich selection is what I'm talking about here. Tom, what's your go-to if you're walking into Pret and you're looking at that illuminated wall full of sandwiches? And we both agree that, like, most times we're not going near the hot stuff. So we're just staying in the refrigerated section. What are you hoping is there?
Most of the time I find what I get is like a club sandwich. Like something like that.
But that's your ideal? Like what I'm not talking about like what do you generally settle for? Because I often settle for like the tomato and mozzarella sandwich, and it's like, all right, yeah, it's fine.
Well, here's where I think maybe the Food Wars people ran into trouble, is that I always go there looking for something like exciting, and they never really have anything all that exciting. But then I'll just be like, all right, I'll just get this like chicken sandwich, grilled chicken and avocado sandwich, or a turkey club sandwich or wherever. And then I'm always like, damn, this is good. I like this sandwich.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with just a good chicken sandwich, other than the cruelty of it, Tom.
I think that's what it is. That like, I don't think I necessarily have a favorite thing there. That's
mine is?
What's yours?
The posh cheddar and pickle baguette.
Oh yeah, I've seen you pick that up,
Tom. We were recently in London to do some shows. I was there for a couple days. The highlight of my trip to London
Pret 9 times
was at the Heathrow Airport, waiting for my flight home.
Yeah,
they had a posh cheddar and pickle baguette. Here it's mature cheddar. Come on, Tom.
Yeah, come on. You don't want to eat juvenile
40
cheddar.
years old here. I gotta,
Wow. And 4 years old is considered mature.
With chunky Pret pickle.
Okay.
I think that's just regular pickles.
Well, but it's like a pickle, like sauce kind of, right? It's not like pickles. No, I think it's like all chopped up stuff.
Roasted tomatoes.
It's like a spread, a pickle spread.
Freshly sliced red onion. I'm a red onion man, Tom.
Of course, yeah.
And a touch of free-range mayo and mustard cress.
Now, how do they let that mayo be free range? How do they let it walk around?
Tom, mayo's made from eggs. You freaking.
Well,
were you making a joke? Oh, were you making a joke at the expense of the posh cheddar and pickled baguette? I will not stand for
How are they
it.
letting the eggs walk around?
Yeah.
Well, speaking of red onion, Tim, I was going to say along the lines of the UK Pret being better, the UK Pret is the only one that has the mature cheddar and red onion chips.
Oh, yes.
Or crisps, as they're called over there, that are very delicious, very good.
Yeah.
A lot more onion stuff in the UK.
Yeah.
You know,
They've really embraced the onion. I think they don't have like other fresh vegetables.
Yeah, it's like, what's in the root cellar? But onions are delicious. They're probably maybe my favorite vegetable.
They might be one of my top 3 favorite foods.
Is there anything like good for you in onions, or is it just mostly like water and onion flavor?
I think there's probably micronutrients or whatever in there.
Tim, I'm looking for macronutrients.
Tom, you get your macros from your Huel. But in the U.S., Tom, if I have to go to Pret, Tom, to be honest, the last time I went to Pret was not too long ago.
Yeah.
I was in Manhattan, and it was like 7 p.m., and I wanted to go home.
Uh-huh.
And I was going to go home.
Right.
But I really had to pee.
Oh, okay.
And I couldn't find
wait.
anywhere to pee.
Uh-huh.
Like, my old thing was, like, walk into a bar.
I thought you were going to say, like, my old thing was, like, just piss in an alley.
No, my old thing
walk
is, like,
into a
you
bar,
walk into a bar, act like, hey, I'll order a drink when I come back.
I'll be right back, yeah.
And you go pee in the bathroom, and then you hightail it out of there.
It's
and the
tough to-
bartender sometimes was like, hey, get back here. He's like, what are you going to do, arrest me? I peed in your bathroom.
What are you going to do, put the piss back in my wiener? I bet if you said that to a bartender, they'd be confused enough that he'd be able to leave.
Yeah, but then there's like, I don't know. But
there's one. Like, but what if they do it?
No, then that's like a crappy thing that you've done. You've said something dirty to a person.
Bartenders heard worse, Tim.
What? Service employees aren't people?
I'm just saying that's probably not the worst thing that bartender's gonna hear that night.
Yeah.
But I've been in that situation where, between like 5 and 7 in Manhattan, actually, more like 7. Like, you have to pee, and it's like, happy hour's over. Like,
yeah,
there aren't a lot of people in here. I can't just like go in and go out without being noticed.
Right.
And that stinks. And I never make a mess in the bathroom, but I take like special care of like, I'm going to leave this place as
if you were leaving a national park.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm not going to leave it better than I found it, but I'm going to make sure I'm not going to, I'm going to be careful not to make a mess here.
Right. So I did purchase.
But that implies that I'm always careful.
You're not always careful.
I'm always careful. I'll tell you what.
I walk into the Pret.
I'm the one sober in that bar. I'm probably doing the best job.
I mean, you're still a freaking mess. Sober Tom is still like.
Well, I get distracted. I'm always looking over my shoulder, making sure nobody's sneaking up on me.
I get into the Pret to go pee.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lock with a code on the door.
Yeah.
And did you go, Sacre bleu?
Yeah.
Pret A Manger has struck again.
So I bought a pesto caprese baguette.
Oh, okay. And not just like a can of soda or a bottle of water.
Yeah, that probably would have been smart. Because like this, like in Joe Brandon's America, Tom, is like it's like $11.75 or something. It was the most expensive pee ever, but it was worth it.
Yeah.
They gave me the code to the door, and when I asked for the code to the door, it really seemed like I could have just walked in and asked for the code without buying. I don't think they cared that I bought the baguette. I think the charity was coming to pick up these.
Right. Yeah, they probably already like marked it for that. And
Yeah.
the guy just pocketed the money. Yeah, Pret strikes me as one of those places where, as long as you're not shuffling up, going like, "Hey man, we gotta get the code to the door," they'll be like, "Yeah, all right, that's fine." As long as you're not in there for like a half hour or whatever,
Right.
too. But to go back for a minute to the coffee stuff, Tim. Have you had?
Hey, let's engage in some coffee talk.
Yeah, their coffee. First off, it's too hot. But that's my complaint about all coffee.
What are you, that old lady that sued McDonald's?
You know damn well, Tim, that lady actually had a very good claim.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'd love to be that lady that sued McDonald's.
Is the HBO documentary Hot Coffee
still available?
Still available.
Now, are you talking about the documentary or the mod for
Grand Theft Auto 4?
I think 3.
Was it called Hot Coffee? I think it was called Hot Coffee.
Oh, the documentary?
Yeah. Or did Zaslav
get rid of
that?
it? Yeah, who knows? He might have had his good friend Ronald McDonald call him up and say, "Hey, now you're in charge. Get rid of that doc. It's causing me and the rest of McDonald land a lot of trouble."
It's called Hot Coffee. Unclear if it's still on HBO Max. But yeah, I agree. I guess their coffee's hot. I don't know.
Yeah.
I never really get Pret. Again, I'm not really in Pret all that often in the U.S. And when I'm in the U.K., am I not drinking coffee? I think I would drink more coffee in the U.K. because of the time zone.
No, but the problem is, Tim, I know what your problem is. You walk up to the Pret and you look at the coffees and you don't understand what any of them are. Like a flat
No,
white.
I can say, look, I don't understand what a flat white is, but I know when I'm in the UK, I just had to order a flat white.
I just asked for a filter coffee, and they normally know what that means and make it, or an Americano.
Okay.
Like when I was in Mexico City, I was getting a lot of Americanos, which I always feel like an asshole ordering in other countries, like an Americano for this Americano. All it is,
I mean, they hate you either way. So
it's just a shot of espresso with some hot water.
Yeah.
It makes it into a regular cup of coffee. It's magic.
I always just order a Sanka.
You guys have Sanka here? The coffee's always too hot. Do you, in the morning, you make coffee at home?
Yeah.
You drink it right after you make it? Because I have to pour.
And then I make so much that I drink it throughout the day.
I have to like make a cup and then go walk the dog. And then when I come back, it's cool enough for me to enjoy. And then for like my second cup, I'll pour it and then take a shower. And then it's cool enough for me to enjoy. I don't like coffee too hot.
Tom, can I ask you a question? So you're making a pot of coffee?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you just turn off the burner?
Because I'm not the only one drinking the coffee.
The dog drinks the coffee.
The dog also drinks the coffee. No, because like that doesn't even really like a. Because
No, I'm thinking more for the second one. Like, I have to go take a shower while it cools down.
Because I mean, I don't have to take a shower. Like I can, and sometimes do just like pour a cup of coffee and have it sit there for 10 minutes before I drink it. Because I don't want it cold. I still want it hot, just not too hot.
Gotcha.
I have a delicate mouth, Tim. It gets burned easily.
Tom, I know all about your delicate mouth. You never stop talking about your delicate mouth.
But do you know about, because there's
not a day goes by where you don't bring up the fact that you have a delicate mouth. We all know, Tom, how delicate your mouth is.
When I had a writing space in New York that I went to in Manhattan. I'm still in New York. That made it sound like I had moved away a long time ago and have just been lying about this. I used to go to a Pret there for coffee. First off, a lot of times I would go and get a coffee, and you know me. Well, I think they have like the milk and everything out for you to do yourself. Is that true?
The Pret?
Yeah.
Unclear. I don't really get
I think
my
they
coffee
did.
at Pret.
But regardless, I'm an easy order. I get just a black coffee. Like a quarter of the time I would go in and order a coffee, they would go, no charge.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what about these margins we were talking about? You just have a pretty face.
That's what
Tom.
I don't, Tim, whenever.
You got a pretty face and a delicate mouth.
I mean, I talked about getting the free cookie at the Pret in Paris.
Yeah.
I used to get free coffees at the Pret all the time. It always seemed weird. It always seemed like they just were like, it's not worth going through like the effort of like putting it in. But it seemed like it wasn't just them being like lazy and being like, nobody keeps inventory of the coffee. It seemed like it was like a company directive of like, hey, once in a while, just give somebody a free coffee to make their day.
Right. And it sounds like your day was made.
It was, Tim. Here I am talking about it years later.
Sound off in the comments. Go into Pret tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Order a coffee, nothing else, a black coffee, and see if you get it for free. And sound off in the comments. Did you get it for free?
There are no comments on a podcast.
What do you
mean? Well, do I want to talk? Yeah. All right. I'll talk about coffee, and then I'll talk about their customer service. They now offer, Tim, a coffee subscription.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Which is pretty good.
Is it pretty good, though?
It's pretty good. It's in the UK, they just have one subscription.
Mm-hmm.
But in the US, of course, you know.
Late capitalism hits the US harder than everywhere else.
Well, and it's also very funny. That was an interesting thing in the food wars where it was like Pret in the UK has like one hot drink size. In the US, 3 hot drink sizes. And the UK one is considered the small.
Right.
And then for like small drink or cold drinks, one size, a 12 ounce for the UK. And then the US, 2 sizes, and it was a 16 ounce and a 24 ounce. So even the small's bigger than the only cold size you can get. But here,
Tom, leave that to the 4 eyes and the eggheads. I didn't process any of those numbers. So I was looking at pictures on my computer while you were talking.
Here, the difference between the coffee subscription is basically it's 25 or 35, and 35 gets you access to like espresso based coffees, barista made coffees, and cold brew.
Right.
That's essentially,
and an extra add-on, a flavor syrup or espresso shot.
Well, the espresso shot is the difference there. You can get an extra add-on with just the regular one if you'll look at that guide you're looking at right now.
You're right.
So it's just espresso, which is fair. And I think also people that drink espresso-based drinks, they're like,
pronounced espresso, not espresso.
That's what I'm saying. They'll happily pay an extra $10. But here's what I think is pretty cool. I was like, all right, so you can get like 1 coffee a day. No, you can get 5 a day.
Really?
5 a day, 30 minutes in between is the only.
If I worked in an office,
yeah,
that was anywhere near a Pret,
yeah, this would be like a no-brainer.
Yeah, you get your first month free.
Oh, and that too. Wow.
Can you cancel, or do you have to
sponsored.
like buy a year?
You can probably cancel, but I bet.
Yeah, so it's not sponsored because I'm telling you to try it, but first go in and see if you get
free coffee anyway.
Free coffee anyway, yeah.
Yeah, and then if they don't give you,
espresso.
if they charge you for a coffee, be like, I'm gonna buy a membership, thank you very much, or I'm gonna get a free membership.
Yeah, spill it in your lap, take them for all they're worth. You know how that coffee is? I'm sure they've been warned.
But yeah, I mean, what a fantastic deal. Well, and you were talking about
just know that HBO will show your burned crotch on television.
Did they show her burned crotch?
Oh, it's horrific,
God.
Tom.
Yeah,
that is seared in my mind. The way that the burns were seared on her old crotch.
Maybe this Zaslav guy is trying to do everybody a favor and get
Probably.
that off the service.
Yeah. Just blur some stuff.
Yeah.
That's all we want. Some censorship from you. Tell me what I should and shouldn't see.
But you're talking about how great this membership is if you work near a Pret. How great is this membership if you want to work out of a Pret? Because you can get 5 coffees, and that's always the thing. Like, if you're like working out of a coffee shop, you should, I forget what the like guideline is of like how often you should buy something to like justify you being there. I think it's also like a little fluid depending on if it's like a corporate coffee shop or, don't feel bad if you're hanging out in Starbucks all day.
I got a question, Tom. Mm-hmm. What's the music situation like in Pret?
I forget. I think it's low enough.
Yeah, I'm talking about like what's the selection. I think it's probably like hits of 2014. Like
Yeah,
I bet you're
like a
getting
little
like
bit
Call
older
Me
pop
Maybe
music.
and like right.
Yeah.
Some early Taylor Swift.
Yeah, some like top 40 from like 5 or 6 years ago,
Right.
probably. Yeah, that sounds about accurate.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to be working out of a Pret.
No, I think
even
I've
if the
heard some
coffee
newer
is free.
songs in there.
Really?
Yeah, I want to say
I want to hear some CCR, man. I want to hear Fortunate Son.
No, I think I have heard some, but I mean, like I've heard like big hits, like new big hits. I think will play there.
Like what? Like Dua Lipa?
Like yeah, or like Harry Styles. Like they'll play
Henry
that kind
Styles?
of. Yeah.
That's a little risque, don't you think?
I think they made sure before they put the songs in that they weren't too risque.
Henry Styles uses some bad language sometimes.
He doesn't use bad language. I don't think
He's
so.
Very cool.
I think a lot of the stuff is very like sexual, but even that stuff, it's like you have to like read between the lines here.
The watermelon sugar.
Yeah. Where it's like, it just sounds like a nice summer treat.
That's not what it's about.
But
You hear
maybe,
that and you go, Henry, come on.
Did you call him Henry? Dude, his name is Harry.
What? He dated T Swift, right?
I believe so for
Yeah.
a minute. Hey, who hasn't? Me and you, we haven't.
Yeah, like a lot of people haven't. She
Yeah.
probably had a normal amount of paramours, Tom.
No, she was never in Paramore. She was always just a solo artist. Tim, they have I've seen, I think this is going to be big controversy. I mean, I guess not because there aren't that many Prets in the US, but they've
Engaged in cancel culture.
no, they normally had a Thanksgiving sandwich every year, like around Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But now they've changed it, Tim, and like, this is like one of those quiet changes. It is a fall harvest sandwich, Tim.
So we're not giving thanks anymore.
No, that's not what the issue is. Tell me what's wrong with this sandwich, Tim. Your Thanksgiving Day flavors in one hearty and delicious sandwich made from apple and sage stuffing, cranberry sauce, spinach, crispy onions, cage-free mayo, and grilled chicken.
Chicken? Are you shitting me, Pret A Manger?
Yeah.
These Frenchmen don't know thing one about Thanksgiving.
Well, and that's what's weird because they mention it in the description, but it used to be the Thanksgiving sandwich and it had turkey in it.
Right.
But I think now they're afraid of getting sued.
I think maybe they just like don't want to buy all this turkey.
Which is fair. You know, I don't want to buy a bunch of turkey either. But
But you got it. It's what you do.
I think that they were like, look, we already got chicken for these other sandwiches we make. Just put the chicken in there.
I mean, how
And
much
honestly,
different
it's
is chicken than
it's
turkey?
not that much different.
They should just say it's turkey, and who's gonna call them out?
Well, I don't think they should mislabel the ingredients on things.
Is somebody gonna be allergic to chicken but not turkey?
No, but maybe somebody doesn't. I think it's just.
You think somebody has a religious restriction against eating chicken but not turkey?
Maybe. I guess
Well,
they're
that
both.
religion should be.
Are they both flightless birds?
Yeah.
No, turkeys can fly, right?
Turkeys can barely fucking walk, Tom. We've bred turkeys to a.
But I'm saying before they were bred like crazy.
Yeah, they go in trees and stuff, I think.
Yeah, that's flying as far as I'm concerned.
Tom.
They go in trees and stuff.
All I know is that sometimes when I'm in places where turkeys are, the turkeys are in the trees.
You gotta keep an eye out.
My wife's hometown
Has turkeys all over the place?
like
Up in the trees?
I don't know where. Turkeys and bunnies everywhere.
Oh, no wonder she moved out.
Yeah. But yeah, Tom, nobody will know the difference. If we did a chicken and turkey taste test after that, you wouldn't know.
Yeah, I'd know. I
Not if it was
100% would
slathered
know.
in gravy and cranberry sauce.
Just give it to me raw. I'll be able to tell you which is which.
You're always trying to convince me to feed you raw turkey.
Yeah, with a blindfold on. If you like the show, you can find out more at tcgt.com. You can find all our social media links there. Check out our Reddit and Discord. Those are the only things we're sure will be around soon.
Reddit, hey, the Reddit's been dead. That's fine, but like, I don't know, go engage at Reddit. But the Discord is hopping and fun, and there's some really good people in there.
Yeah, Discord's great.
Good combos.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Tom Reynolds.
Follow me at your pal Tim.
And check out our Patreon, patreon.com/complete guide. We got a new Books to Podcast.
This one I'm psyched about, Tom.
Yeah, we're doing Forrest Gump. Hello, I'm Forrest Gump.
Oh, Tom.
What? That's what he sounds like. But does he sound like that in the book? That's what we'll be finding out. This week we're watching the movie. We're doing a discussion of the movie.
We're turning it all upside down.
Yeah.
And the reason we're doing I'll explain this.
The reason we're doing it that way is because that's what Gloria Stefan told us to do.
Turn the beat around. And it's going to end with an epic trip to Bubba Gump Shrimp in Times Square.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're talking about the movie this week and then the book that the movie's based on. Then we're going to do an episode where we go to Bubba Gump Shrimp in the heart of the holiday season in Times Square, New York.
The worst time to go to Times Square.
Yeah. And hopefully they have some vegetarian options for you there.
I looked it up. I'll eat some mac and cheese. I would eat shrimp too.
Yeah?
Yeah. Tom, I often, not often, I've twice in the last 6 years made an exception for
shrimp.
For fish.
Oh, okay.
So,
because like fish are stupid, right?
It's in the words of Kurt Cobain, it's okay to eat fish because they don't have any feelings.
There you go. Patreon.com/complete guide. You can get those new episodes and all the past ones as well. Tim, Pret A Manger demands that their employees go beyond traditional requirements for fast food workers, such as courtesy, efficiency, and reliability, to such tasks such as having presence, demonstrating a quirky sense of fun, and exhibiting behavior consistent with being inwardly happy with oneself.
You don't have to do that. Just tell me how much the sandwich costs, and I'll pay the money, and then like you go try to live a decent life with dignity.
I mean, I will say this, that every Pret I've been to, the employees seem like they're having a decent time.
Yeah, it's not like that.
And it doesn't
Taco Bell in Greenpoint.
Yeah.
Like,
and it doesn't seem like this. It doesn't seem like they're that way because of like a corporate decree.
Right.
It seems like they hire.
I mean, that should come from corporate, that like the people there don't feel like they want to die when they're there.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it shouldn't be like, you should be happy. It should be like, we're providing and
we're
fostering an environment
you.
where you can feel happy.
Yeah, we're not working you like crazy, and
Right.
we're giving you good pay and good benefits. So,
Right.
like, you should be happy.
Right.
But I've always liked their customer service. I've always been treated well at Pret.
Hey, you get free coffees. That goes a long way.
Free coffee. That man apologized about 9/11 to us
Should
the
we
one
tell
time.
that story?
We've told that story so many times.
Yeah.
I feel like we told it a couple of weeks ago.
And we told it to somebody. We were at like a party, a birthday party, and someone new was there.
Yeah. So we told all of our stories.
Well, this is the thing, Tom.
Uh-huh.
It was a little touch and go because like you were drunker than I was.
That doesn't sound
Because
right.
I got there later than you.
Mm-hmm.
And there was somebody.
Oh, we were also at a place that did sell beers, but I didn't know that. So I kept buying like $14 cocktails.
Yeah. You were drunk when I showed up with my son. My wife.
I was drunk with your son, and you guys showed up.
And
You're like,
then-
this is where he went. He's fine.
We told the story, or you drunkenly told the story of the Pret employee in London who apologized about 9/11 to us. And she had a lot of questions, but also she lives in my building.
Uh-huh.
And it was awkward for me because, like, I saw her the next morning.
Yeah.
Or, like, 2 days later, we were leaving to go to work at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey, how's it going? She's like, hey. And I think I was like, that Pret story unsettled her. And I don't think, I think she thinks, like, I'm a weirdo now.
Well, she's not wrong.
See you next week.
That was a HeadGum podcast.